With a couple of weeks to go here, what do you think you are in the return game in terms of finding returners and the uncertainty maybe at the punt return with Jamad obviously being out and Boo's situation? Where are you at in maybe auditioning for those spots?
Yeah, we're in a great spot. We got a lot of guys that we train, like a whole stable of guys that go out there, they catch every single day. From receivers to DBs, guys that have speed, can go out there, make a cut, make a play. We got a stable of guys that we're looking at, and the guys you mentioned before are still in the mix too. But we feel great about that and where they're at.
Just to follow up to that, like how deep do you want that to be, and how much would you feel confident in changing up the returners game to game within the year, or do you want to get a one guy and settle?
Yeah, I mean, like you look a couple years back with D. Williams, it was nice to have one guy that's consistent and you know who he is and he's a playmaker. We have those types of guys as we keep figuring out through camp and we see who that guy is going to become. It'd be great to have him out there from week one on, whoever it is, whoever takes that thing over. But you do have the opportunities with all the people we've been training to throw somebody in, and we're prepared to do that. We got those guys.
Coach, in terms of kickoff returns, how do you guys determine how to be aggressive on fair catching, taking the ball to 25, or trying to take it out and make a big play there?
Yeah, kickoff return, you said? Yeah, I mean, statistically, there's a lot of things that don't support taking it out every single time. And for us, our unit, we got to play smart. And, it depends on a lot of factors. How's the wind? What's the score of the game? Is it the second quarter, the fourth quarter, whatever it may be? But we've got a lot of those factors that we go through and we work through. But our unit, I mean, we're putting ourselves in a position that we're like a home run derby mentality. When our pitch comes our way, we want to swing it. We want to go and score and be 100 yards down the field the other way.
With Max Gilbert, he seems kind of like a reserved guy. So what do you maybe know about him, and do you kind of see him turn it on when you go through some of those reps?
Yeah, he's not as reserved as you think. He'll open up every once in a while. But Max has been doing great. Him and Josh, and we got our new guy, Gray Dangerfield. But those guys are doing great. Max is striking the ball. Josh is striking the ball well. Oftentimes those guys, it's all about contact and the swing of their leg. And I know that sounds obvious, but when they go out there, it's about the mental preparation, and that's where Max is super strong. Josh as well, played a lot of football for us too. But Max goes out, he approaches every kick the same way, like it's a game, and we get the results that we want, So he's been fantastic. Josh is coming right along too, and our freshman as well.
How valuable is a guy like Josh in this day and age when you're talking about potential roster number changes and how all that's going to look? A guy who can be the backup punter, the backup kicker, and your kickoff guy. How valuable is somebody like that?
Extremely valuable. Extremely. I mean, and that's a lot of our guys. They have the same type of value, but who we want to bring into our room as a specialist is somebody that's versatile, that can do a couple of different things at a high level. And Josh has done nothing but improve since he's gotten here. I know he's kicked off for us, but he's on an upward trajectory, and his value is high all the time, but he's really showing what he can do on a lot of different jobs too.
Will Brooks talked to us last year about how playing teams for 3 or 4 years prepared him a large part to go and be the safety he was last year. Yeah. How much of an opportunity is it for those guys, often 2s and 3s, to get out on the field and prepare themselves for maybe a spot on offense or defense?
I mean, it's vitally important to the development of somebody on this team. You look at T. Lander, Arion Carter, Ed Spillman, to name just a couple of guys. I know they're linebackers, but last year those guys were some of our core guys on special teams, and really AC's first year 2 years ago. I mean, it's a feel of the game. It's going out there, seeing how fast it really moves, particularly at Tennessee and in this conference, and getting a feel for it and making some plays, and that's where we want to put guys in those positions to where they can go out, develop, play at our standard, but then become the offensive or defensive starter that they should be. No one comes here to play just special teams, but guys like Will Brooks, who were consistent every single day, never questioned his effort, never questioned what he knew how to do. He knew everything. It showed, and then the moment when it counted the most, he's out there on defense making a play.
What's it been like working with Jackson coming in and seeing part of his development and his unique skill set and his personality and all the things that he's brought to this program?
It's been great. I got here right around the same time, a little bit before, but Jackson got here, me and him the same year. It's been awesome to see him grow, kind of understand America in general. He had a lot of things he had to learn, but just getting him, adapted to being here at Tennessee and being away from home for a while. But he's grown into who he is, and he's a fantastic player. He's got a huge skill set. He's got a bright personality, as we know, but, he's a pro. He's been a pro. He did it in the AFL in Australia. Having a guy like that at a punter spot, it's important because he goes out there and the moment's not too big for him. He's been on a big stage before, and then he's going into, his third year. So he's great to work with. Again, his skill set is one of his biggest strengths. He can be very versatile in all the things that he does.
Talking about kind of the mentality mindset piece of being a kicker or a punter, when you look at a guy and he's about to go into a game or even in practice, what are some of the signs that you know that he is mentally ready to go out there and perform, since it is such a big piece?
From a specialist standpoint or just any player?
From a specialist.
Specialist. A lot of the times, you ask our guys that got here, and you ask Jackson and Bennett and even Max will tell you, they're honest about it. They get here their first year, and after that year has progressed, they might say, hey, I don't know if I would have been fully ready to go full-time in a game, but it's the preparation and practice that got them to the spot they're at now. So when we're in the game, those things have been decided long before that moment. But it's the look in their eye. It's how they approach every rep. They know their job. It's not a hard job to mentally grasp, but the task at hand is really challenging. The elements, the crowd, the rush, but we try to say, block all that stuff out, because it's no different if I go out and kick in front of 102,000 versus if I'm out there on the practice field and I'm kicking just with myself. But the look in their eye, their preparation every single day, it gives me the confidence, but really gives them the confidence that they go out there and they can smash their opportunity.
Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.